Hey, it's Jonathan back with Leader Connect, and just have a few things to talk to you guys about. Your Connect groups are going great, by the way. I just hear a lot of just incredible feedback, and so I want you to feel encouraged there. For most of you, you've kind of just started to get into a rhythm. You know who's in your group and who's not, and you've gone 3 weeks strong. And so that's just an incredible thing, and you can really feel encouraged about that. Some of you, there are a couple groups that are having a hard time getting going, and don't be discouraged about that. It's a 10-week process. And so maybe you even look at it, okay, the next 7 weeks, the next 6 weeks, or whatever, I'm going to have 5 strong weeks. And so don't feel like since the first couple weeks aren't as strong that the rest of the time isn't valuable, because it really is. And we're just starting this process. We've just started Connect groups, and our goal is that it'll be a long-term thing for years is what it would be, and that people could develop those long-term friendships. And so a couple nights that just don't go so well, or you've tried and you don't have, use me as a resource, use Pastor Greg as a resource. Let us troubleshoot some of these things and get those groups going strong, whether we need to do some personal contact or whether we need to go back to the drawing board with some things. But don't worry, things are going to be great. And so saying all of that, in fact, most of the groups are going really well. What's coming up is most of you are going into your 4th week, and by the 4th week, what we want to have happen is for your groups to sign the covenant sheet. And you should have all seen that. You should have all shown your group the covenant sheet by now. We've talked about the 3-week out clause, and so they've been able to decide, do I want to be in this group or not? And so now then, for the next 7 weeks, it's like these guys have decided, yeah, we're in. We're all in for 7 weeks. And people get kind of squirrely around signing their name on something and covenants and all that. And I don't want you to make it this huge deal, but I want it to be an important thing. And so, some of the questions that have come up to me have been, well, what if I sign my name on a covenant and then I can't make it 1 week? Maybe I'm sick, maybe there's a snowstorm, maybe something comes up. And what I want it to be is I want them to feel that importance. Like if something does come up, that it's not just this, well, I'm just not going to show up and I'm not going to tell anybody, but that they would communicate that because they're part of a group. They're not just attending a meeting, if that makes sense. And so that sense of belonging to the group, it'll cause them to then, maybe they shoot a text message to the leader. Maybe they call someone and say they're not going to be there, but there's communication going on. And so, if there's a snowstorm, we don't want someone to be in dangerous weather. If someone's sick, we want them to stay home and get well. If something comes up unexpectedly, we want them to have to attend to those things, but just to communicate it and to do their best to make it and do their best to be there the next time. And so that's kind of the reason around covenant. We want people to be committed to each other, because our goal is that there would be deep relationships, not just a study. And so so our big ask is that you'd have people sign the covenant. You may have somebody that decides not to, and that's okay. But we'd like you to put the ask out that, hey, we're asking that you guys in this group, that we would sign this covenant together and put your name down. Be the example of signing your name on the covenant. A couple other things. One is just continue to do the attendance sheets. Once you've had your group, the best thing is either that night or the next morning or sometime really quick to shoot Leslie an email or to drop off your attendance sheet on a Sunday or something if you're doing the hard copy route. But as quick as possible. You don't need to stress out about it, but as quick as possible, get us the attendance, and if we don't get it, we'll follow up with you. But it helps out us in the office if you just do a quick text or email or phone call or something and let us know about the attendance. One other thing to be aware of is we're getting ready to go into Fall Fest preparation, and most of you have been around for Fall Fest, some of you maybe not. And but Fall Fest is going to be a great outreach to the community. And you know how it goes when we announce something and we need people to sign up. You might get 4 people that sign up in the foyer or whatever, and you do an announcement on a Sunday morning. We know that there are multiple ways to get information out to everybody, and that if we rely just on the Sunday morning announcement, that we're probably not going to get the buy-in that we need. And so one of the ways we want to kind of get buy-in for Fall Fest and also just get some sign-ups for different areas that Leslie needs is we'd like you guys to talk to your groups about it. And so Leslie's going to email out some sign-up sheets, or you can get a hard copy of sign-up sheets. And we'd like you to take maybe 2 or 3 minutes and just kind of cast vision about Fall Fest, that it's a church-wide outreach, that it's a city-wide impact. And what if your group either all signed up for the same thing? Maybe you did the outreach together. Maybe you did one night together or something, that you guys did it as a group. Or at the very least, each person in your group takes a slot and signs their name, either a time slot or maybe they want to bring something. And so at least given it, and then maybe you could pass the sign-up sheet around the room. And that when people have it in their hands, they can see it and they can decide, do they want to do it. A lot of times people are waiting till the last minute, to see who else signs up. And we'd just like to get kind of ahead of the game there. So if you could help us get some signups, that would be incredible. Thank you very much for that. This other thing, with our small group format, whether you're doing sermon-based or whether you're doing a special interest group, either way, we're looking at 3 elements. We want you to hit 3 elements. We want you to have a time of sharing, just sharing life, getting to know each other. We want you to have a time of studying the Word, and most of you are doing that around the sermon-based study, and some of you around some others. And then we'd like you to have an element of prayer or presence, where you're going into the presence of the Lord, where you're taking prayer requests, where you're doing something along the lines of pulling on heaven. And so those are 3 elements. They don't have to be like 3 elements that have exactly the same amount of time in each. But we want you to look at hitting those 3. They don't have to all be in order. You can follow the Holy Spirit around. Sometimes it works to kind of break the ice with some personal shares, then go into the study, and then close up with prayer. That flow works really nice most of the time. But pay attention to the Holy Spirit and try to get those 3 in. And if you don't get it, then don't worry about it, but shoot for that each week to get those 3 elements in. And if you're having trouble with that, with time frames and all those types of things, talk with me. I've been doing that for a long time. Pastor Greg's been doing it for a long time, just leading meetings and small group settings. And I can help you with some pointers on keeping that meeting just kind of flowing and going. So, and just kind of leadership tip for the week is becoming a small group pastor. Really, that's the responsibility that you have as leaders, is that you're pastoring those 10, 12, 15 people. And you get to be that leader that kind of gets to know them, has relationship with them, going deeper in places. And so we want you to feel like you're not just leading a study, but you're actually pastoring that group. And so it may be that you follow up. Maybe the Lord puts one of their names on your heart and you call them throughout the week. Maybe you connect a couple people in the group together so that they start an accountability relationship or a life group type relationship. But where you're looking with eyes of, I'm shepherding this group, I'm pastoring this group, and that it goes beyond just that evening that you're together, but that you're thinking with eyes beyond that. Also, there may be people that aren't in your group yet that you need to start pastoring right now. Pastor Greg talks about that all the time with me, that maybe the person isn't in the group yet, but they're supposed to be, and so you start by calling them. Maybe you go out one-on-one for coffee. Maybe you intentionally target them on a Sunday morning and start pastoring them, love on them, care for them. There may be people that you need to visit in the hospital. There may be people that are going through a rough time, and you need to coordinate with your host some meals so that they could have some meals. But start to really take ownership over this group of people, not in a weird way, but just in a pastoring way, that you're their primary source of love and support right now, the first line of defense anyways. And obviously, if there's anything that you feel like is above your pay grade or something like that, you can always let us know, and we want to hop in at any point and support you in that. So, hey, that's it. That's it for Leader Connect this week. I hope that you enjoyed this and that you're getting value out of it. Hey, let me know. Let me know if you like these videos, or if you're listening to the audio. Let me know if it's helping support you on your journey. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.